A big problem in the past is the conflict between the long-term interests of any society and the short-term interests from some people who profit by doing things that are bad for the society. Those are the several reasons why, at their peak, these societies did not see what was happening to them and did not take corrective action. So who is there today in the modern world who's pursuing short-term goals? And a short answer is most of us are pursuing short-term goals.
So we live in a pathological society, in part because we have a narrative that pretends if we all just maximize our appetites, then the society will work well.
What does that growth lead to? What is it we actually want? The number of brands you're exposed to in a day is some vast number, whether or not you watch TV. You know, it's just, we're just sort of living in this kind of bath of branding and buying. Our conventional journalistic enterprise, which is a big chunk of what people absorb day to day, is not grappling with these questions. If you look at the history of, let's say, New York Times coverage of environmental problems, or consumption itself has rarely been one of the things people write about. It's a newspaper that sells ads. I don't think there's a conscious disregard for the consumption of the story, but it's not there.
There is a sense in which a society can function well without its members having the welfare of the society in mind. We could be concerned mostly about our own reputations, for example. And yet, in order to have a good reputation, we have to do good things for the groups. But it's very different than the received economic version, which pretends that if individuals just strive to maximize their monetary gain and you have no restrictions, then society is going to work well. That has to be the most toxic metaphor that's ever been unleashed upon society.
It's possible to get pessimistic and to focus on the bad stories of the societies that collapsed. Some societies have not collapsed, partly because of good luck, that they were living in robust areas, and partly because they made far-sighted decisions to avoid damaging their environments. Japan, during the Tokugawa era, the shogun gave orders that the forest be conserved, but that order would not have been obeyed unless the Japanese people were receptive to preserving their own environment and their own forest.
Tokugawa, also called the Edo period, began in 1603. Japan was finally united after a long civil war. The era lasted into the late 19th century and established an ethic of conservation and self-sufficiency.
で、この油をこう絞った後のカスがあるんですよ。そのカスは今度はでそういう価値観のことを考えますと、例えば「樽を知る」という言葉がありますけれども、まさにこう自分たちの暮らしの中でこれで十分だっていう気持ちをいつも持っているんですね。でそうしますと来年の恵みは今年と同じでいいわけです。つまり右肩上がりじゃなくてもいいわけですね。で十分であるということをとにかく継続していきたいというそういう価値観がとてもはっきりとしていると思います。その状態を次の世代に、渡そうとするそういう意識があると思われます。ですから幸せの意味が物を持つ方ではなくて 消費をする方ではなくて人間関係の方にあったというふうに考えることができます。やはりその西洋列強に入っていくっていう明治になって、で西洋列強に入っていくっていうことは外に向かって拡大して物を得ていくっていうことなんですね。で資源を外から買う、で市場を外に求める、でそのために戦争をするってね、日清日露の戦争をずっと経験して第二次世界大戦まで行きますね。
私たちはですね、産業が爆発的に発展して、そして自分たちの生活がですね物質的には豊かになるおかげでですね、もしかしたらこれは全部自分たちの人間の力でそういうことができているんではないか、そういうようなですね過信をしてしまいました。しかし近年のですね地球環境問題、あるいは3.11などの災害はですね、いや実はそんなことはなくてですね、私たちがまだまだ
That confidence was shaken when the Fukushima disaster forced Japan to recognize it had forgotten the lessons of its past.
When it unfolded, the jaw-dropping nature of what those waves did was stunning. Then I also focused in on this astonishing, sobering reality that there were these tsunami stones that had been erected in the hills there in centuries past. The inscriptions are just haunting. One of them says, "Do not build below this stone. Remember the great waves of the past." In Japan, where they knew there's a history of great tsunamis, but the engineers who designed the nuclear power plant and the vital systems, but the generators in places that could be flooded and stuff like that, you say, hello, what is it about us?
私たちが今まで豊かと思っていたものはですね、これは物質的な豊かさだと思うんですね。そういったものの方がはるかに自分たちにとって本質的に重要なことなんだということに気づいたと思うんですね。
If we all live near and now, meaning I only care about things that are down the road and this week, then we're not going to get the climate problem or similar problems right. That takes it also into this other special realm, the realm of values. You can't solve the global warming problem or related issues with just technology or just rules. It's if you don't have people's values evolve to the reality that this is a dot. Our neighborhood extends to the other side of the planet. I think a lot of scientists have been reluctant even to say there's a values component in this.